right, welcome back, folks. Game number 2 set to get underway. Secret taking game 1, but it was a tough one. It was close. It was a sweater. Never knew who was going to win until the end. Yeah.
For more of it, I thought Polar was going to win. I thought Secret had the good start, but that was like the first 10-15 minutes of the game. When the Axe blink comes up, that's when you find out who's going to win. And it really looked like it was Polar who were going to take it.
That was the most impressive thing. You mentioned it in that game was that they all came online at the same time, but it was the way they executed when they came online. It was like they knew, okay, we have these core items, we have these ultimates, let's go. And they just took tower after tower, fight after fight, and then once that edge started to dissipate a little bit, that's when Secret really started to strike. And the Orchid on S4's Queen of Pain was definitely a key playmaker.
2 or 3 fights where Axe got silence was just
it was
huge.
Definitely important. So looking at game number 2, we'll definitely see familiar faces here. Asus.Polar, they lost to the Troll last game and said, well, maybe we should play it this go-around. They'll first pick it. Secret taking something similar, though. Lion, Queen of Pain. So probably S4 on the quad, but as we've talked about, it could be Zy. A lot of flexibility for Secret.
The puppy bans, the Chen Enigma taken out, the Night Stalker Sniper ban out from Secret, and no one going for the Wisp. A hero that Polar don't run all that much. Team Secret, since no tells left, run it minimum. Like they can run it, that's for sure, but it's not really a go-to of theirs. So maybe something that both the teams consider in that second pick stage is the Wisp.
Radiant team ban.
Interesting to see it make it all the way through like this, though.
Imagine Secret are going to ban maybe some of those FNG heroes like the Treant Protector. They start with the Lina for now.
FNG Wisp, I think, is up there with Big Daddy Wisp. Okay. That's the big one that always gets talked about. But FNG has had some incredible games. I remember the last season of Starladder. He was like 7-1 on that patch with Wisp, something like that. 8-1. He's had a pretty successful competitive history there. So it would be, I think, a little scary to leave the Wisp in. If Puppy doesn't ban it here, they've got to have something up their sleeve lingering. I mean, you can always take a Disruptor. He's still in the pool.
A PA ban? That's...
I mean, it is a hero that RTZ does play.
Yeah. It's a hero, Secret will pick, but it makes me wonder if Asus.Polar have something in mind, because it's not like a huge counter pick to the Troll or the Axe. I mean, at some point you do force like a Troll to go in MKB, and when your PA starts getting some farm, you can fight those heroes to some extent head on, but it doesn't particularly strike me as like an obvious go-to pick for Secret in the second stage.
Yeah, that's definitely fair enough. Is there anyone that PA really counteracts, or like a hero that they're thinking, there's no way we can play against PA if we pick X? That's why it seems strange to me. If it's not really a respect ban and not really a counter pick, maybe just they don't like RNG. Felt like they got enough of that with the Troll last game, so they'll just keep it steady with the bashes on their side. Secret ban out the Bristleback, so that does limit one of the scary Wisp partners. Maybe they'll take the Wisp for themselves here. I guess that's possible.
Yeah, we've seen the Kuro Wisp in the past be a pretty potent hero player combination. Not something they go to right away at the start of the draft. They're the ones who are going to pick the Treant.
Okay.
So Puppy says, "I'll take the Treant." Asus.Polar though, Drow
Visage maybe.
Yeah, the Lil Visage is very, very strong.
We talked about that during our draft. I've got Lil in my fantasy league, so let's see that Visage, boys. Come on. Looking for that high KDA, but
how'd your fantasy league do in game 1, do you think?
I think okay. I mean, I took 3 Secret players, so anytime Secret wins, I think that's good for my fantasy league. Arteezy was my shot caller.
I think you had Zy, who didn't do so. He had like a pretty bad.
I've got the 3 cores on Sears. I think it was okay. It was a little bit lukewarm. Illidan didn't really have a great score.
Fantasy leagues are so funny for Dota because performance is not tied to your KDA. Like Zy made some clutch plays. He canceled a Requiem in that last fight at bottom lane.
Those sick hook shots do not get counted for anything. He at least serves some kind of a bonus for that.
Assist, but he was like 2-7 or something at the end of that game. It's like, oh, poor Zy.
Poor Zy indeed. Well, it could be a decent game for Dro Visage. I feel like that strategy has really fallen off, though. We don't see many teams draft it. Asus.Polar was one team that ran it. Them and Cloud9, those are the two that I think of that really liked that strategy more than most other teams who would kind of run it on occasion when it was really hot. They would do it kind of any time that the heroes weren't banned out. So, something they know well.
And PA not bad against the Drow as far as where you can like blink in and kind of close the gap and get rid of that marksmanship with relative ease. So that makes the PA ban makes a bit more sense now when we see the Drow Ranger come out.
Yeah, that's true.
Polar's still yet to pick up any support. So we mentioned the Visage. That's going to be probably their 4-position support, which sometimes turns into a 2-position hero. And then they need that
something
hard
like an Ancient
support.
Apparition could be okay. Not bad against the tree.
Yeah, I like that idea. Storm for Secret, though.
Ooh.
Dire team
There's your
pick.
Visage. So no hesitation from Asus.Polar. No
Radiant
surprise there.
team banned.
But Secret thought about this. I'm sure anticipating that it would probably be a Dro Visage. Storm, a great hero in this kind of scenario. Storm and Quap can close the gap on the Dro, jump on top of her. One of them's going to get an Orchid. I don't know which one, but somebody is going to be ready to jump
10
in on that Dro
seconds
Ranger
remaining.
and make her life difficult. At the very least, get rid of that marksmanship.
And you can play that
5
kind of split
seconds
push style. We saw a lot of it last time when Polar grouped up as 5 trying to take towers. Ortiz was on the other side of the map, pressuring a tier 3 tower, pressuring a Rax. Like, he got a Rax when they went for that top lane. He took the melee Rax and they just lost the range Rax in exchange. So that's going to be a similar thing to what we'll see here from Team Secret, I think. There's less physical damage to pressure the high ground, but they can always keep lanes pushed out using Storm and Queen of Pain really well.
10
And
seconds
something that they will fall
remaining.
back on. Play like that kind of Cloud9-esque type of play. But I mean, Secret
5
fall
seconds
back to that a lot
remaining.
as well themselves.
Venge, the final ban from Secret. I think as good
Reserve
as any.
time.
There's quite a few supports left in the pool here. Venge, Ancient Apparition, Rubik,
Oh, is it?
Skyrath Mage.
Skywrath is pretty good here. You got silence and burst damage for the Storm. It synergizes nicely with the Axe Blink Call. So it could be an option here. Because they're always going to, if they're worried about split push, the Blink Call needs follow-up damage to punish the split push. And Troll Drow are going to be off pushing or farming. They don't, I mean, Troll could go for a Blink Dagger and be follow-up, but having someone like a Skyrath Mage who can be with the Axe trying to gank is maybe going to be a nice way to play things. But
Well, Asus.Polar, they're thinking about this
Last
final
ban.
ban quite a bit. And this is a tricky one. I imagine looking for the Arteezy hero here.
yeah, probably a Queen of Pain offlane. Every now and then they could do like a Queen of Pain Storm with one in the safe lane, the other mid. So it could be a Zai hero, but
True.
Zai did play that offlane Queen of Pain yesterday.
Yeah, the offlane Quap feels a little more tried and true. Safe lane Storm, I think, can be really good, but not a go-to. And I think it's more of kind of like a niche type thing. It seems to be something that teams do when there's more of a real carry mid, something like a Shadow Fiend or a Medusa or something like that, which Shadow Fiend is still in the pool here. So maybe something Secret are considering. Broodmother will be banned out from Asus.Polar. I think this is a smart ban.
If they want a Zai hero for the last pick, it needs to be at least a semi. Like, they can't pick like a Clockwork last. At least I don't think so. I think Storm and Queen of Pain don't give them enough damage in the late game.
Yeah,
probably.
I think they need another carry to go with the Storm,
Yeah,
who
like
scales
they could-
really well.
They could get an offlane for Zai if they want to do a safe lane Storm, but it'd need to be like a Prophet or something which can really get some good damage as well coming out. Brood would have been an okay option.
Is
Dire
that real?
team
I love how it was just silence.
All right, let's
This
pull
is
up the
real.
chat. Let's not freak out. Yep,
yeah,
yep,
no,
okay.
that's real.
This is real.
Um,
Secret are actually playing Techies in a competitive best of 5. We're qualifying for a
yeah,
LAN. It's-
boys.
This is not a group stage throwaway. No one gives a shit. This
Yeah,
is, I mean,
this is serious business.
I guess being up 1-0 in a best of 5 series is a time to do something
10
clowny like
seconds
this.
remaining.
But
Yeah.
5 seconds
Okay,
remaining.
I'm excited. This is something new and fresh. So,
so
then,
I think they're going to
Reserve
lane this, though. I
time.
think this is going to be like a Waga style lane Techies where he's
yeah,
going to
this
get a
is
lot
for
of
Zai.
farm.
Zai plays this in the
Yes.
play/practice this in the offlane.
He'll farm with the mines. This isn't going to be that kind of like, okay, let's put some mines on the runes. Let's hope somebody walks into it. This is going to be lane Techies. He'll get a lot of experience. He'll probably rush in Aghanims. There's that Skyrath Mage final choice for FNG on Asus.Polar. So not a huge surprise there. Everyone quickly turn to Twitter. Talk about the Techies.
Well, this is it. You're watching the wrong stream if you're not here. This is the Secret Sekis in the best of 5 finals.
I just can't.
To get
Exactly.
to
I
LA.
can't believe this. It's not elimination. It's winter bracket final. So there is actually a good bit of buffer here for Secret. But I'm still just in shock.
Well, this will be fun. I'm looking forward to it. They got the Skyrath Mage last pick. We talked about this being a good last pick for Asus.Polar. I don't even want to talk about the Asus.Polar heroes. I'm much more hyped for what we're seeing.
I don't even
come
care
out.
what Asus.Polar picked. Let's
Yep.
just talk about Techies.
Oh, they got a Meepo. Who cares? There's a Techies in the game.
10
Well,
seconds remaining.
This is going to be some fun. They've done this once or twice before here and there.
5
They
seconds
won with it against Cloud9 back at DAC. Definitely not because of the Techies pick. But oh boy.
Yeah, definitely. I remember that game. Yes, that was not a Techies victory. I
Oh,
think,
look at
but-
this. The TPs come out immediately from Skyrath Mage top. He's scouting out the
Prepare
techies saying,
for
where
battle.
are you mining? Where are these mines going? but it's not
Show
top lane.
mercy, please. FNG, he's all, look at this. Zai gets his first mine down. Just going to follow the techies for now. At least he's got the Arcana, the little piglets. Oh, they're so cute. Just look at them. I don't understand why they turn into pigs, though. That is one thing I never got. They don't look like pigs when they're normal. You get the Arcana, and they go into full pig mode.
I get really, I don't like this Arcana. I'm confused by it half the time. When I'm playing against it, there's these like weird like pop-ups that show up on my screen too. I don't get what those are. Like this hero kind of weirds me out when you get the pig mode going.
Yeah, it's a weird Arcana, but I do like it. Here, let's take a look at some of Zai's stats here. How many? You said he's a practiced hand. Maybe he just got gifted the Arcana.
Maybe
7 suicide kills.
Does it?
3 landmine kills.
Look, it doesn't. He doesn't practice on his main account. Maybe a lot of the pros actually have like old accounts where they play matchmaking with when they're practicing
so that they can hide and people don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
If you want to like,
this is a staggeringly low amount of kills. 3 landmine kills.
I think it was like I remember Universal. Someone talking about when Universe was practicing Brood and wanting to like play tons of Brood games. He didn't stream it. And he didn't do it on his main account, so other competitive pro players didn't know he was suddenly like
does make sense.
A big Brood player. Like it's trying to get that competitive advantage. So if Secret were trying to introduce techies in their lineup, I imagine Zai was doing so in a more secret fashion.
Well,
true to the team name.
Looks like Secret got the memo that today is April Fool's. I'm very curious how this will work out. Boots first, techies. Probably headed to the offlane here. Looks like Artur having a little bit of the lag, and hopefully he can get it resolved. All right, so we're gonna pull up the brackets here. There is some concern about looking at where the mines may be. At the request of their manager, I will go to a static screen here. Unless you want to show your pretty face, GoDz, we could turn on the camera.
It's up to you, man. I don't know if our viewers want. I think they've looked at it. That's enough.
We'll look at the bracket. Wow, look at this here bracket. Team Secret Asus.Polar is where we're at. Cloud9 will be facing the loser of this for the lower bracket finals, best of 5. And that is tomorrow, right? That is the final best of 5 for Europe?
Best of 5 tomorrow. I think it's at 17:30 CST. So
okay,
we'll know one team today, one team tomorrow, and then probably redemption vote, at least historically, has gone to a European team. That seems to be where a lot of the viewership and the fans are voting for. But it could be different this time around. I don't know who else. If it's not a European team, it would maybe be like another Chinese team if there's a bunch of compendiums sold in China.
Vote. Oh man.
America doesn't like after EG's going to win in theory.
There just isn't a big enough brand in America outside of EG to pull that many votes. That's the big. That's really where the branding comes in, because it's not just having a high-skilled team, but it's having the personalities that people really want to see on camera. Really want to see cast games and kind of get their personalities out there. So. I guess the short list is the Alliance, Navi, Cloud9, Secret, whichever grouping of those, obviously.
If I would say if IG didn't qualify, because the Chinese qualifies, Vici gets a direct invite, and then there's like LGD, IG, as well as like eHome and one other big name I'm forgetting, Newbie. Like let's say IG doesn't qualify, and all the Chinese fans are like, we gotta have Burning as well as Ferrari and this new IG team at the summit. Let's get buying compendiums. Let's get them in. Let's vote them out. Vote the European teams out. I could see that happening, but I think more likely it's Europe.
I think it will only be the team that Burning is on. If a Chinese team is going to get redemption voted, he's got the star power to pull the votes.
I don't think Newbie could do it. LGD with Zhao 8, I don't think that would
so defunct. Yeah. And it's also more an issue of numbers, though. If I recall correctly, last time there were not a huge amount of Chinese votes relative to like just Europe and North America in general. The real big core bulk of the votes came from the swing vote, as we've kind of called it, for Europe and North America. So I guess it's possible a Chinese team could make it, but I feel pretty unlikely. And SEA, I don't know how likely one of their teams is to make it.
I think it's pretty low. I remember last time there was a big push. Like there was a few front page Reddit threads like, let's vote CSW into the vote, and then like the actual there's a lot of Australians on Reddit, so they were probably all about.
There's a lot of Australians on Reddit.
Yeah.
Is that a fact?
Yeah, that's
a disproportionately large amount of Australians
compared to like the Dota, how many Dota 2 players there are.
Okay, so Aussies like Reddit. That's good to know.
Yeah. Like America. I mean, Reddit as a demographic is like America. Like some of your English-speaking European countries, and then Australia, I feel is up there as far as population goes. But I think it's going to be a very interesting redemption vote. Unlike last time, there was just two big front runners in Na'Vi and Cloud9, and it would have just been Na'Vi if not for the big campaign.
The great thing
Cloud9
about it
did.
is, like, last time Cloud9 really proved the power of campaigning. Or it seemed like Na'Vi thought, like, Na'Vi was winning initially, and it seemed like Dendy streamed. They kind of put in a half-assed effort, and to them it's sort of seemed like that would be enough, just using their star power. And Cloud9 showed that if you really go over the top, that you can grind votes in the compendium.
I never really talked to Na'Vi. I wonder if they thought they just had the redemption vote in the bag, or if they just didn't put more effort in because they didn't think they were going to win it.
I don't know. I wish I had asked Tavost about it when I chatted with him at Major All-Stars.
I think someone maybe mentioned that they just didn't think they were going to win it because Cloud9 had all the big name pros like Arteezy, No-Tail. They were all like supporting the Cloud9 campaign.
Yeah, I remember at
and Na'Vi back then were
Starladder. Was it Starladder 11? The first Starladder land that I went to. I remember.
I think 10.
Was that 10?
Probably. Starladder 11 was the most recent one. When you went, you've been to two now.
Yeah,
so
10. Okay, yeah, you're right. So Starladder 10. I remember talking to Havost and FNG when we went out for dinner on like the Saturday night, and they were both very confused about how it worked. So like, LD and I explained like, no, it's just people just vote and that's it. The basic lowdown, and instantly both of them said, we're not going to win. We lost. They're like, oh, it's going to go to Secret or it's going to go to Cloud9. They seemed very cynical. So I don't know. I don't know if that was just the in the moment, like, we just lost.
They've been to
Starladder.
enough events where they've seen the queues to get Dendy's autograph. We saw it in Malaysia where it went like around the building. I go over to do a signing and like my queue struggles to get outside of this little tent that we're in. Like,
and Dendy, it's just like to drop everything you have, get in the line. I will trade you my firstborn for a spot in line. It was crazy. So I'm excited. NIP have told me now that they've been eliminated, they're planning on campaigning pretty hard. They're at least going to have a go at it. I don't know how big their brand is. Maybe they can leverage that CSGO brand a little bit. I don't know.
It's one of those things, like, even if you make a go at it and you don't win it, it's still really good for your players. Like, like let's say Cloud9 last time hadn't won the redemption vote. They still produced some awesome stuff, which the Dota 2 community loved. It helped their players become more popular. Why not give it a go,
Yeah,
why not?
Absolutely.
But this time around, like, I really don't even, like, between Alliance, Na'Vi, NIP, Team Empire, you got the Empire Twitter guy. Can you even count out if Team Empire Twitter guy, like, brings his A game?
That's true. I didn't really think about that.
I remember at the start of the Summit 3 Europe, I was like, if Empire somehow don't qualify, they're winning the redemption vote. They've got the Twitter guy, but we'll see.
That's true. The Empire Twitter guy, though, he can get into that, what's the right way to put it? Sometimes when he goes really ham, he goes a little overboard. He's good most of the time, but there's that like 5 to 10% of the time where he reaches a little bit or so he makes questionable jokes on occasion. So it would be interesting to see Empire really make a go at it and see what the Empire Twitter guy produces. But so we are having some connection issues here. It looks like we may have a remake. Arteezy getting some serious lag issues, I guess it is. Not sure exactly what the deal is, but got to put on your admin hat here, GoDz. So yeah, we're coming up on that 10-minute mark. We're not quite there yet, but it's coming up just in just a second. Yeah. So we'll be patient here for at least the time being. So, but yeah, it's really heating up. It's exciting now that we're getting towards the tail end of Phase 2 for these regions, and
China hasn't begun too. That's the thing. Like this week we have America and Europe, 4 teams decide, but then we get that one last magical spot for China where there's a lot of teams who are pretty close.
What are the chances you think it'll be a team other than IG?
LGD, I think, are on par with IG.
Really? You think they're like dead even?
They're having back and forth series a lot. Maybe like 55-45 IG favored, but LGD.
I could buy that.
When Zhao first joined, was like it looked like IG were the best team, but the last week they've been playing in D2CL a bit. It seems a lot more even between the 3 big IG, LGD, VG Gaming.
All right, so. It seems like that region in particular is really hard to gauge the power of the teams because they're all very strong, but they take games off each other all the time. It's like LGD and IG know each other so well that they can constantly take games off one another, and it's hard to wager which team is really stronger in a vacuum. It's more fun when you get to see them on that international stadium and they're fighting against teams that play in a different meta.
It's kind of different on the online matches too, because you put them in a LAN setting. That's where someone like Zyori, even with like his old LGD teams, they were never the most individually talented as far as like I mean, they were still really good players. Don't take anything. They didn't have the star power, I guess, but they would still, back when they had like DD and DDC as their supporter, these aren't known as like your best supports in the world.
Kunkka Shadow Demon, that's what I think of when I see those two.
And then you had Yao playing like offlane or mid. Like he's a solid core player, but he's not considered a star. Even Zyori, as far as his individual play, was never considered a star. He was a star captain, but this is a team that made a huge run at TI2. They won various big LAN events in China. They won their G Leagues and stuff, so he's just a player who makes teams work on land, so you can never really count him out.
Okay, well, it looks like teams are reconnected here. Asus.Polar are ready to rock and roll. Just need the thumbs up from one RTZ, and we got a G. So it looks like I think we're ready to get back into this game.
Just a reminder, Techies has been picked for those of you tuning into the stream. Zy unleashing his minds here. May get scouted in just a second here, as he's planted one, but if he goes down for a second, I think the Skywrath Mage will get some vision of this.
Yeah, so that's all we've seen. The Skywrath Mage did TP to the top tower just to try and figure out where the Techies may be. Got a ward down very quickly just to get that little bit of intel.
Just the one mine, though, is a decent chunk of damage if Asus.Polar go for this top bounty rune. Then you've got the Treant Protector with a Leech Seed and S4 who can go for a Shadow Strike to maybe set a kill, especially if it's Lil walking in with 0 armor.
Yeah, that's a point worth reiterating. Perhaps they do physical damage.
They scout it. They
get the sentry ward down. That's one mine that'll be killed by the Visage. And the other one will stay alive for now. It's in this kind of weird spot where it sort of gets hidden under the trees until you mouse over it properly.
Yeah, I don't think the second one on the high ground is likely to be walked into. So bottom line, it looks like Arteezy is going to get the bounty rune. Both bounty runes likely to go Secret's way. This is, I guess, hey, they maybe don't get any kills with the Techies and mines get dealt with, but
that is one thing that the Techies always provides is that second thought about going towards runes. Unless you have a sentry ward down and you can clearly see it's not mined up, even if he doesn't get kills, it makes space for your mid laner to find pretty much every rune he would ever want in your side lanes to come in. So it will be Queen of Pain and Storm Spirit getting the buffed up bounties here at 0-0. That's a great start for Secret.
And with the Techies, I'd go one step further. Not just going runes. You don't want to rotate through jungles. You don't want to move from lane to lane. Generally speaking, like when I'm playing against the Techies, I just stay in my lane. And if I want to go to another lane, I TP to the tower and then I follow the creeps. If the creeps are walking there, you're not running into landmines. As soon as you start rotating from lane to lane, through the river, through the jungle, that's when you put yourself in danger. Yeah,
Sadoy getting harassed in the bottom lane, though the same goes for Zy here. Both offlaners off to a little bit of a rocky start. Techies will be doing, he should be able to do just fine here. Once the creep's going to move into the tower, the mines do a lot of damage, so we will find at least some CS. I reckon Aghanims will be an item build he looks towards. Bottle could be an option. Yule's always a good item, pretty much on everyone. Great on Techies. You can do fun stuff with setting up stasis traps. If you get Ags and Yules, you can sit back and just chuck in those remote mines during fights. A lot of options here for Zy. Force Staff also a great item, one of those tried and true classics.
Yeah, I think a bit ahead of us. I think for stars, it's just the Tranquil Soaring.
Yes.
From there, you can kind of figure out what the game's going to call for, whether you need to go for something a bit crazier. But yeah, Tranquil Soaring's to get things going, and then from there, you see what's going to be needed.
So you think the Tranquil Soul Ring is better than Bottle, or at least a go-to?
Maybe comparable.
Okay. So we'll see what Zy wants to do. Looking at the other lanes here. Ooh, get some big damage onto Lil. There you go. That's just one mine. See how much damage it does to the 0 starting armor Visage without any Gravekeeper's Cloak. Yeah, that hurts.
Okay.
So other lanes, what is it? Illidan on the drone in the mid lane against S4's Queen of Pain. Right now we've got Sadoy jungling. He was the off-lane Axe. FNG on the Skywrath. We've already seen Lil on the Visage. And G is that safe lane farmer on Troll. It is Arteezy on the safe lane Storm. You mentioned that as a possibility during the draft and something that Secret will go for here. And it looks like he will have complete free farm. So this Storm Spirit should have pretty much anything he wants. Maybe that means he'll be more of the ideal Orchid carrier. And that could open up for S4 to possibly Russian Aghanims or something like that.
Yeah, Axe has already ventured away from the off lane. Doesn't want to give up any extra kills here. But a Treant Protector could get that value point in Leech Seed, and with a potential roam from Kuro, this is not a lane where Axe is likely to get much done. So he'll get the faster Blink Dagger just going straight into the jungle, but does give complete uncontested free farm to Storm, and also opens up the Secret supports to move around the map. We've seen Kuro make moves towards mid, Puppey can be stacking neutral camps, and they can just move around the map a lot more and just find out where they're most needed with no support needed for Arteezy.
Mid lane seems to be going the way of S4 right now, actually really going his way. 13-9 to the 6-4 Dro Ranger. This is a heads-up matchup, and S4 just completely dominating, a full level ahead of him. Now we'll see a rotation from Puppey. It'll get scouted out by FNG on the high ground. Illidan
gets a silence before the Leech Seed, but one right click from Puppey and a couple more from S4. That's going to be a deny! Skywrath Mage
Nicely played by
denies the
FNG.
first blood as well. Not
Yeah.
just a hero deny, but when it's first blood, that's a big chunk of gold that could have gone S4's way.
Yeah, and with S4 already dominating that lane, getting the bonus gold on top of that really hurts. It's bad enough that the Drill Ranger has died and now gives S4 a little more space in the lane. So still not really good news for Asus.Polar, but FNG making the best of an already kind of crummy situation. That is one of the drawbacks of the Queen of Pain. We've seen time and time again. The Shadow Strike allowing for the denies, even though it doesn't do huge damage.
4-minute rune coming up, and looks like your Techie's going to be camping around the top rune, but not sure if he's going to want to make a move down here with FNG.
Level 1 for now, FNG. Uh-oh, is he going to get baited into this?
I'm watching that, I'm like, surely Skywrath doesn't fall for this. Like,
my.
you don't walk up ramps. That's like rule number 1, don't be careful about going for runes. Rule number 2, do not walk blindly up ramps.
You just need so much discipline to play against the Techies there. That one, I have to say, felt a little obvious. I think that one you really should know better. A low health Techies still auto-attacking you on low health. I wonder what could be lurking nearby.
I mean, you don't verse Techies as the competitive
That's what I mean.
player,
That's where that discipline comes in. It's
Yeah.
like, you know that, but when you're in the heat of the moment, the temptation is there just, I want to kill him. That's my first blood. You know, it makes it so much more tempting. Oh, that's painful. So, Zy, a slow start, but now, talk about recovery halfway through level 2, and all of a sudden he's got Tranquil Boots in the beginnings of his Soul Ring.
Bottom tier on town now looks to be claimed here. Arteezy with the last hit. He's got a lot of farm on this Storm Spirit now with that tower gold.
Yeah, he certainly does. He is the last hit leader, keeping up blow for blow with the Troll. Now has the Soul Ring, and what's he picked up? Is it looking towards the Bloodstone? Okay, he goes for the bottle, so still ambiguous with the Soul Ring here. I feel like there's 2 ways they can do this. They can go Orchid on the Storm with an Ags on S4, or S4 can be the Orchid carrier, then they just go Bloodstone on the Storm. And frankly, I'm not sure which one is better in this situation. They both have their merits.
Yeah, I'll see just for now. It looks like Arteezy just get a bottle out.
Puppy is in deep. What are you doing? He gets revealed. Sidoi hits him with the Berserker's Call. All right, he'll be okay for now. Looks like he's just baiting for S4 perhaps. Now a Leech Seed onto Sidoi. They blow him up with that Sonic Wave. Puppy will die for this, but S4 might be able to find a double. FNG gets behind the tower. A Haste Rune on S4. Classic. 1 for 1.
Decides, yeah, bit lacking vision, or he could have chased down FNG there. Doesn't want to get kind of gusted into a tower or something, but we'll see Asus.Polar what their next move's going to be. This is a Queen of Pain starting to gather some momentum. The Techies in the offlane has got some levels and is doing decently, but Arteezy on Storm, regen rune bottled up. He's level 7, and well, he's top of the net worth with the help of that tower gold.
Yep, as he well should be. That is definitely good news for Secret. Zy now, level 3. He does have his Soul Ring complete. So he's feeling a little bit more healthy. G doing standard stuff on the Troll Warlord. Nothing really too crazy happening at this point. Things are settling down from this Techies pick, and everyone just trying to find their initial bout of farm. I think Drill Ranger, the big weak link right now, just not getting enough out of this mid lane.
Tower is under attack.
Storm is going to keep pressing the tier 2, and this is one thing that Polar just aren't really equipped to deal with, having the split push. Axe wants to stay in the jungle. That's where he's getting the best farm possible towards his Blink Dagger, but someone at some point has to go bottom and stop Arteezy just pressuring the lane, getting free farm, and it looks like that may be the Axe here, but this is going to slow down his progression towards the Blink Dagger. What happened to the career, by the way? That got sniped at some point on the dire side. Looks like that's what Puppy went for when he
Oh, maybe he
died
did.
there.
Maybe
Yeah,
he did
yeah,
kill and I missed it. Okay.
Okay.
I think that was it. I totally
Nope,
missed it.
no,
I was
not
even
catch
looking
that
at it
either,
though.
yeah.
That's the part that makes. But okay, so that's good. Makes it worth it. And then they traded 1 for 1 on top of that. So Axe will go back down bottom with the creep wave pushed up. He'll find some decent amount of farm, and you know, it's amazing to just observe the reaction of Twitch chat, or FNG getting that first blood deny and then giving up the first blood in the room, going the spam of FN God, you know, the oh my hero, my Lord and Savior, to the feeder terrible, kick him from the team, the knee-jerk gut reactions. Yeah, going from just he's the greatest player ever to how could you be that bad? I'm ashamed to cheer for you. I love the polarizing cheers. It's always comical to take a look at on the instant replay, but. Wow, Arteezy, man, there is just nothing slowing this guy down. Now he moves into the jungle. He's got 2,000 gold up. If he wants the Bloodstone, he could have it at an unbelievable timing.
It's like that may be the item he's going to rush.
Closing in on that Soul Booster already. Puppy being that mobile ward. He will get an Observer down, but FNG's right there with the Sentry. will take it out. They're trying to find Puppy. Sidoi may go for a gamble here. Puppy, though, very wise, of course, knows that there's a counter ward there, so we'll stay on this side of the tree. He'll be fine. Zai now level 4. Looks like Yule's Scepter may be his next item. Already picked up the Soul Ring, grabs another Sage's Mask. And this is the point of the game where Techies gets a little more fun. You're not quite as mana-starved, and you can get down those landmines kind of as needed.
Yeah, you can get some good farm going as well, and I'll just use the landmines to farm some of those creep waves. For now, the Polar side just going to be looking to sit back and kind of not really so much as control this game, but at least get their core items up. They've got the Drow Ranger, who's not really farming all too well, but at least getting just some basic stat items to get the bonus damage going for the rest of the team. And the other big thing is Lil's Vicious. This is a hero which they often like to prioritize a lot of farm on to get him online.
He's still 0-0 and 0. Been somewhat quiet this game, but now up top, G. He's going to get wrapped around on. Puppy comes in. Zai needs to be a little careful, baiting it out as Arteezy. Long-range zip comes flying through. The whirling axes will keep G alive for now. TP coming in, does get canceled. And this gank attempt from Secret will not yield a kill, at least not yet. S4 on his way in, but the Troll's already TP'd home. And no blood will be shed quite yet. Instead, Secret will just group up onto this tower. This is another thing that Techies does very well. The landmines do physical damage that does hit towers, and boy, do they do a lot of it.
Yep. This T1 tower going down with not much of a defense. Kuro, bottom lane, trying to take over this lane. And nice move from Arteezy just to move into the jungle and kind of pressure, fight with his team, because he can offer a lot, even without any points in the Vortex. Just a nice mobile hero and good ganker, whereas Kuro would like to get level 6 and also like to farm up his Blink Dagger.
Cool, gets initiated on by FNG, hits him with an Earth Spike. That'll be the end of that little scuffle there. Meanwhile, in the mid, I thought they were going to pressure that tier 1, but Lil doesn't really have too much pushing power yet. He is getting space to find his level 6. This is a big benchmark for the Visage, of course, getting those familiars onto the field, and now it begins, or at least opens up some options with this Drow Ranger, who's still struggling to get her footing here. She's picked up the casual Morbid Mask, still on brown boots. That's probably one of the scarier things. If she gets initiated on at all, she's going down. Speaking of going down, it's Lil here in the mid lane. S4 jumps on him.
And in the Radiant jungle, G's looking for Kuro.
Whirling axes will be enough to find Kuro. Arteezy comes in, but can't really do much to reset things. S4 will blink out as he sees this whole arsenal of Asus.Polar venturing through. They will look towards the Roche pit with Lion in the grave, but Visage is down, has familiars here. Roche will fall pretty quickly with the Troll and the Drow Ranger, the auras, plus the battle trance. This still feels a little risky, though.
We're going to see this game kind of play out very similar to last game, where Asus.Polar, it's all about their mid-game timing. The Axe Blink Dagger is always the item you're waiting for when you pick this hero. And again, it's going to come at a similar time when the other heroes on the team are ready to fight. Your Troll's got an Aegis. He's going to have just a basic phase, Helm of the Dominator, and probably a Yasha, which is that extra bit of movement speed you need. Your Visage has his level 6, maybe his level 7 for the maxed out Soul Assumption. So everything will come together at a pretty nice time for the Polar side. And then for Secret, it's all about kind of avoiding those clashes and split pushing the map and just not fighting into that strong 5-man. Because Polar are going to do like last game, where they just 5-man, try to take as many towers on the map as they can with this Aegis and with this Axe Blink Dagger.
Well, it seems they'll get aggressive sooner rather than later. Tier 1 tower down bottom. Axe about 5 gold away from his Blink. He'll be able to pick it up on his way down. And this tier 1 tower will take some pressure. Illidan laying in the right clicks. Living Armor has been coming out left and right. It is level 3. Puppy just about to get that overgrowth. They'll let this tower fall without really much of a fight at all. Troll finding the last hit there. S4 poking at the tier 1 mid. It's pretty low. There is a glyph for Asus.Polar. It looks like they will just continue pushing down in the bottom lane with FNG lingering nearby. Is now level 7, so Mystic Flare online, hoping to find some kills.
Axe is not being spotted out yet with this Blink, and he's making his way towards mid lane. S4 blinks towards him, though, and he's going to get caught out by a Blink call. Where's the fall damage? There's a Mystic Flare, and S4 going to get chopped. Off with your head.
And meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Puppy overgrowth to try to delay this push as much as he can on the tier 2 tower. It's definitely going down. Living Armor won't save it. However, Secret does get that tier 1 in the mid lane. Last hit goes the Lion. All things considered, great for Asus.Polar.
Yeah. Kuro does get his Blink Dagger level 6, so he can now offer kind of at least some similar ganking potential. Doesn't quite match up to what the Axe can do, but at least every now and then you'll find a pick off with a finger and be able to use that Blink Impale to start some things off. But does feel very similar to game 1 in that, yeah, Asus.Polar started off slow and had that kind of 3,000 to 4,000 gold deficit, but right now they are the ones in control, at least for the period that they have this Aegis.
Yeah. Arteezy closing in on the Bloodstone. What's that on the Courier? It'll be Vitality Booster, and yeah, there's your Blink Dagger for Kuro. Great timing on that. 13 minutes for the Blink Lion. I guess getting that tower kill in the mid lane did make that a little easier. Meanwhile, Asus.Polar continuing the high-octane play. Tier 1 tower in the mid falls. Another tower kill to the Troll. Back-to-back tower kills here for G. That'll really help this
going
Drow
from tower
Ranger.
to tower and stealing the Radiant Ancient stack now, so
Ooh.
G getting some good farm coming his way.
Yeah, Techies still just kind of split pushing up top. Zai now level 8. Yule's just about completed. He's going to have to come back to help defend pretty soon here, though. He does have the remote mines.
And this
But
is just
not
where,
many deployed.
yeah, Visage already with the gem pickup. Oh, Illidan, he has not got the Aegis Beast, still kept alive for now. There's an Axe Blink Call in a second. He's just waiting to lose the damage off him. He goes in, catches Arteezy. Down goes your Storm. The Overgrowth comes too late. S4's blink forward. He's already thrown the Sonic Wave, though, and now he doesn't actually finish off Illidan. Illidan's juking around the trees, needs another Scream, will catch him. 1-for-1 trade, and S4 blinks forward, looking for a second one. Looks like he will be able to bring down Lil. The Familiar's not offering enough support. G, as well as Sadoy.
The landmine's actually doing a lot of work
Wow.
here. Did a fair bit of damage. They bring down the Aegis. Now they might kill him once more. It started disastrous for Secret with Arteezy going down, but now they'll chase G into oblivion. The dagger, only level 1, but a slow nonetheless coming out from the Queen of Pain. They'll chase him into the tier 2. S4 maybe needs to be a little careful, but Yule's from Zai. They'll put down a remote mine. Almost enough damage, but they can't quite get it. Now S4 called under the tower. A slam dunk. The Quap gets decapitated again. And Secret end up overextending.
They had the kill on the Troll with the Scream, but he used the Scream during the Yules. I think Zai made the right play, throwing him up in the air to set up the landmine, but S4 just needed to... I mean, the communication just wasn't there. S4 knew that Yules was coming. He would have waited to use the Scream until he landed.
So who came out ahead in that fight? I think it's Asus.Polar. They were
I would say
pretty even.
Even, but for me, it's like Secret holding on when Asus.Polar are 5-manning with Aegis. The fact you can hold onto your towers and break through the Aegis is always a slight win in itself, even if like the gold exchange is kind of even. It's just, it hurts Asus.Polar's timing. Their timing was with the Aegis, 5-manning, taking down towers, and Secret hold on and survive it.
That's true, though. Asus.Polar, they don't really have bad late game with
Not at
Troll,
all, yeah.
Drow, Axe, even the Visage. A lot of scalability on this team. So even though now is a time when they're hot, if they have to sit back and be a little more quiet in the mid game, I don't think that's necessarily a bad option. Illidan has really recovered pretty nicely. Still at the tail end of the pack of cores, but that tower gold really helping out this Drow Ranger, who at least now has a Helm of the Dominator, which means she can farm in the jungle pretty effectively if she gets a little bit of quiet time.
So we'll see Asus.Polar. They're just looking to tank up on some of these heroes, and yeah, that's the main problem for the Drow Ranger in that fight there, that just not having the extra bit of stat time. Like even like a Sanjin Yasha or something is one of those nice items which gives you a movement speed, attack speed, and even that extra bit of HP which you need.
Yep. The landmines now getting cleared out. The gem on the Visage doing a lot of work already. Picked up nice and early by FNG, similar to what we saw last game. Secret, though, they lose some landmines, and they won't take that. It will not stand. Sonic Wave just hits on FNG, but now Arteezy comes zipping in. Bloodstone not quite completed yet. Finger brings down the Drow Ranger. Instant buyback from Illidan. He's already lost his Skywrath Mage and the rest of his team in a lot of trouble. Lil taking some damage, but Arteezy gets slam dunked. Visage still falls to S4. Now he'll just try to move around the trees, make some space for himself. He will have a Scream, the living armor, keeping him alive and rather healthy. G getting low on HP, but it's Zai who may be forced into a suicide. Yules now doesn't have enough mana for the suicide. Easy dunk for the Axe and a double kill for Sadoy. A very chaotic fight, but this go around, it is Secret, I think, that finds the better of it. A 2-for-3 with the buyback on the Drow Ranger. Puppy hiding in the trees. Sadoy had to guess one way or another, and this time he will miss.
Was the gem recovered by the Radiant side, I believe? Yeah,
yes,
Queen of Pain
S4
with the
has it.
gem.
Oh, that's the big victory there.
Yeah, that helps out your team a lot moving forward. This Techies is going to be
and S4 gets his Orchid off
Techies.
that fight also.
Yep.
So even if the gold exchange, maybe even favoring Asus.Polar a little bit, because I think, did they end a streak or something? Yeah, they may have, but they get some core items off that. I think Arteezy has his Bloodstone also, and he completed it after that fight, so didn't even lose the initial charges, still sitting at 8. Another victory, a minor victory for Secret. G did live on the Troll. That'll get him very close to his S and Y. Actually has enough gold for it already. So the troll is still the king of the castle in terms of net worth.
May even look to just pick up a BKB to help out in these fights with the Lion, the
you're
Orchid,
right. Yeah, there
and
it is.
Overgrowth. I think the BKB is, yeah, it's going to help him out a bit more. But next, Roshan, Asus.Polar are going to be looking to secure that and then make a move towards some of these more, well, even the Tier 1 tower still standing at top. It doesn't feel like they're getting objectives like too easily. Every time Secret's there with a fight, and the fights are going kind of 50-50-ish, so Secret at least can drag things out. But we do have to kind of worry a bit about the Secret late game, not having that true late game carry. The Queen of Pain and the Storm both kind of intel-based carries that can both go great into the late game, but the rest of the lineup offers very little.
The big problem for Asus.Polar, though, is securing Roche without a gem. Hold that thought, though, as Kuro walks into the wrong place at the wrong time. Gets initiated on, but Living Armor gives him a little bit of a buffer, at least enough time for the cores to get there. Arteezy and S4 doing as much damage as they can. They bring down the Skywrath, but it'll cost S4 his life. Not sure what happened to the gem, but now Arteezy and Zy will go down. A 1 for 4, and Puppey will be on the run. Pretty sure that gem has been recovered by someone.
It's back at the Radiant base. They didn't.
Oh, they left it. Okay, so the gem's still sitting at base. Yeah. That's good news. But a 1 for 4, well, great news for Asus.Polar. 2,400 net worth change.
That was almost big. S4 blinked in with a scream, and if his Sonic Wave was 2 seconds away from being ready, and if he'd had it, he could have dropped it down onto that big impale of Kuro's and done a lot of damage, got some kills, but he got gusted, and then he got burst down. S4 is going to see that fight and be like, okay, I need a BKB of my own. There's too much silence and too much kind of lockdown to deal with.
And there's a sentry ward, so they will be able to see the mines in Roche.
Okay, we see what's happening.
Yeah. And Roche will be coming up here in just about a second's time. So Asus.Polar will be in a good spot, but Secret will have respawned just in the nick of time to make a move towards Roche. And of course, they don't have the vision. That's the big problem here. You look at Radiant Vision. They've got a ward on the high ground here, so they'll see some heroes lingering around. They see Illidan making a movement that way, and it will be pinged out. There's your BKB on the Troll Warlord, though. A huge item pickup, and Radiant's Courier just suicides into a double damage Joe Ranger. Not sure what that was all about.
That's a miss micro. It was even in that area.
Yeah.
It had, actually, it was maybe trying to recover the, did it drop the gem?
It had 900.
I'm thinking that was the gem that it dropped.
Oh, yes, it did. It just fed them back the gem.
I think it was just trying to, like, send across the map to try to recover a gem, and then...
But it had the gem.
Actually, no, that was the gem they'd left at the Radiant base.
Yeah,
they had that at the Radiant base.
Yeah, that was the gem that after that fight, it was just hanging out. That was weird.
I'm scratching my head. I'm not sure what.
I don't know what happened. Maybe a misclick. Well, obviously a misclick. There's no way that was intentional. Unless that is Secret's way of April Fools. Here you go. Have your gem back. We're still going to win. That could be the ultimate in, like, cocky posturing. I don't know. Have to chalk it up to question marks. So, how are we looking overall? Asus.Polar finally pulling into the lead. First time this game, only by about 1,000 net worth, but still in good shape on that front. About 6,000 experience is their favor there. But still relatively even. Arteezy only on 6 Bloodstone charges now. Still haven't seen much item progression since we last checked in. What's the Dro working on? Probably a BKB for her. Ogre Club with 2,800 gold to go with her Aegis.
Tank up, stay alive as much as possible. That's been the big problem for Illidan. Every fight he's just getting... That last fight where he bought back, it was more than anything just to give his team the aura. That's a lot of bonus damage. Give the Visage Familiars the aura that you can self-cast. So he just bought back, popped the ulti, popped the Precision aura, and then gave that extra damage to his team.
He walks over a remote mine there. That'll get him low. Okay. How are the techies?
Not something he would be too thrilled about, considering that there was a gem to get rid of that if he just waited up for his team.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, there are ways to counter techies, of course, but you really have to just think about it perfectly and always think, okay, what unit is out in front? Do we have detection? Is this area safe? And it's just a completely different mindset than any Dota player, not even pro, are used to when there isn't a techies in the game.
Well, being very aggressive with his positioning here in the enemy jungle, but he's been spotted out by a Dire Ward, so they kind of know that what he's up to. It looked like he was trying to go for a Courier snipe. Here we go, Skywrath with the silence. S4, silence up. There's a blink call following up this silence, and do they have the damage for this? You betcha. Ooh, catch him out.
And meanwhile, in the top lane, that's a tier 2 tower down. Dro Visage will strike again. And that baby falls. Tier 2 in the bottom lane. Arteezy wants to finish it off. He'll get it. Lingers around a bit too long, though. Berserker's call is there. Can they get him into the threshold? Oh, yeah, baby. It's another one. 2 cores on Secret dead. And meanwhile, in the top lane, Dro Visage still going at it. TP back from the Lion. Nice blink from Kuro to catch him off guard. Zy coming in as well, but now the familiars start going to work. He will Yules himself, but Zy's still in a lot of trouble, getting stunned up, manages to get off the suicide. No additional damage done. And now this tier 3 tower will be under assault. Living armor comes out. Even if they'll
be able to get it now.
Back up here, still a lot of damage done by this duo. The power of the Drove Visage, man, making itself known.
They can heal it up with the living armor, which is going to be kind of pesky here. But and they make the smart decision to back off. Storm about to respawn, got a lot of catch potential, and the Axis Walls Troll were kind of too far away to offer any support.
Those are 2 big kills for Asus.Polar to grab, though. Now RTZ down to only 4 Bloodstone charges, and S4 seems like he just hasn't done anything since this Orchid got picked up. He's been looking for pickoffs, but Asus.Polar just not giving him any openings. None of the stragglers have been in a forward position. Now Zy, speaking of forward positions, caught by the Berserker's Call. Yules right into a decapitation. They don't even need it. Troll just gives him the axes. Suicide still on cooldown.
This is the 5-man timing. Age is still up. You haven't got the BKB out on the axe. He's got the money for it, but he'll just need to free up the courier and get it out. So it doesn't look like he'll have it for this push here. But even without this, they've still got a lot of pushing potential.
Won't mind. The only one down does some damage to the creep wave. Now the living armor gets chewed through, and they go to work on this tower. Nice stun on 3 from the Lion, but at what cost? Berserker's Call be off the mark, but the dunk is not. And that's a dead Lion. It's starting to feel like Asus.Polar might be able to take game number 2 here and make the opening to this series a little more interesting. In the bottom lane, there is a bit of split push happening from S4, but his pushing prowess certainly limited relative to the 5-man here of Asus.Polar.
Yeah, the Battle Transit, the Culling Blade, lots of attack speed. They're going to go in with the Overgrowth here, but this is just trying to delay things for the push bottom lane. They lose Tree and Protector, and they can just swing top. They can just go for the double Rax here. They don't even really need to TP anyone back bottom just yet. They can maybe TP one hero,
It's not like S4 is really pushing that quickly. Yeah, he's got this tower down to about half health. They will back up. I think it's a smart play from S4 to put some pressure on like that. But yeesh, this is getting scary for Secret. Quickly falling further and further behind now. 7,500 net worth and about 12k XP is the lead for Asus.Polar.
Very cautious play, not going for the second lane of Rax, which I think they could have forced out. No Treant ulti, and Treant was just flat out dead. That would have forced the Queen of Pain to TP, but deciding to play things cautiously. Get their next. They've got a few big items coming up, and
Odin almost dies there to Techie Mines. Close call, buddy.
It's not really seeing the potential of the Techies pick here. I mean, the second time Secret picked this, I'm being like a little underwhelmed, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's been a little bit better this go-around. Zy's had a pretty decent impact, but unfortunately, it feels like they have bigger problems than just the Techies. S4 just, with an Orchid, he needed to get more momentum than this, and Asus.Polar did a really good job not giving him any openings, and now his farm is kind of crippled. Him and Storm both will go for BKBs. Looks like this is just a BKB game on both sides of it. 3 on the Dire side now, and 1 on the Radiant with another right on the horizon. A lot of pressure on RTZ and S4 to do some big damage in these fights.
I mean, it's like you've gone for these BKBs, but these are not items which will help you scale great into the late game when you're playing a Storm Queen of Pain. So for the Polar side of things, they've got much better late game here. The Troll, the Jar Ranger, Visage as a core hero. They're going to smoke really close to this Techies. Doesn't actually pop it.
Okay, Zy just mining up these little access points, almost hoping that they walk this way.
Puppy's looking pretty dead.
Yeah, they want to cut down this tree. He's on the run. Berserker's Call, and yeah, Living Armor not going to save you from that. Asus.Polar now with backdoor protection broken, just move right into the Radiant base. They get a ward down, and now this tier 3 tower up top will be under assault.
They see the Techies to the north, but he's just kind of trapped off, blocked off from his own base.
Here we go. RTZ, BKBs, he just zips around in the fight. Puppy buys back, tries to come in for the overgrowth, but can't even get it. Instantly disabled and decapitated. Now Zy gets brought down. Kuroki's also died. It's just the cores left alive, but RTZ out of mana, out of life. That's it. The GG's called. A quick game 2 goes the way of Asus.Polar. Happy, I was going to say happy 4th of July. Happy April Fool's Day from Team Secret. A game 2 Techies and a best of 5 finals. Did not work out.
I guess the good news is it's a best of 5. Well, it's now become a best of 3. It's clean slate now.
Yep, clean slate. Next team to take 2 wins will be moving on to the summit. It's just land finals from here, so very exciting. A fun game. Unfortunate for Secret that it didn't work out, but you got to give them some cred for trying the Techies, and you know, there's something to be said for that fan service. You know, teams that take risks, do things a little bit different. Definitely got the fans excited.
And
I'm sure Twitter is making quite the ruckus.
And I don't think it's done as pure fan service. I think
No,
it's a pick they
definitely not.
legitimately think can work, and they're trying to.
It is 50-50.
You've got to.
You know when Puppy's picking that, he's thinking,
Yeah.
yeah. You don't
I mean, that
pick
was
Techies
like-
and not have that little grin on your face.
It's like
Come on.
TI2 when he first picked the Nyx Assassin against IG, and he's like, "Yeah, this is the counter. Like this is
This
the
is
pick."
happening. Yep.
But Puppy sometimes he's a bit of that mad scientist. Sometimes it works. Sometimes.
Yeah. He's like a more controlled Go Black.
Yes.
He's not that crazy, but
No.
a little crazy.
He's less predictable. Like, Go Black will have his crazy ideas, but then he'll keep sticking to them, and you know what they are, even though they're
Yeah.
crazy. With Puppy, it's just like, out of nowhere. Techies, out of nowhere. This Nyx Assassin
Yeah.
pick. This
Yeah.
weird stuff comes out, so...
Whew. All right, well, Game 3 coming up, folks. Stick around because there's a lot more Dota 2 to enjoy here for the Summit 3 Europe, presented by Gigabyte.
I was actually one of the first people to sign up on Vulcan.